Joined right now by Marquette Law School professor Paul Secunda to talk about right to work. And let's talk about the response we've seen today as opposed to back Act 10. I mean, there were tens of thousands of union folk 4 years ago in Madison. We've got about 1,000 today. Is the union labor force in Milwaukee kind of beaten down after they went through from Act 10, where they feel that they just can't get a fair shake in Madison right now?
Well, I think so. I think also they're a little disappointed that the right to work laws are not being accurately described to the citizens of Wisconsin. So people are under the wrong assumption about what's going to happen here as far as what impact the right to work law will have on not just the unions and the private sector, but also in the non-union environment.
If we do go right to work in Wisconsin, we're going to have workplaces that have unions where some people choose to pay the dues and others who just get to kind of freeload would be the word. Free ride.
Yes.
They get all the benefits of the union, but they don't have to pay the dues.
Right.
Does that ultimately weaken the power of the union in a workplace?
Absolutely, because what happens is those who are willing to pay for the services they receive from the union are now saying to themselves, well, why should I pay? If that guy over there is not paying, I'll still get the services, because the union is required by law to provide these services to these workers, whether they pay dues or not. So that's the kind of conundrum that the unions find themselves in.
From a legislative standpoint, this appears inevitable. They seem to have the votes in the Senate, the Assembly overwhelmingly Republican. Governor Walker says he'll sign it.
Right.
Your strategy if the unions want to successfully oppose this?
Well, the ultimate power that unions have is in their labor. So they can withhold their labor by walking out and engaging in a general strike. I mean, the problem with that, of course, is that not everyone is in favor of a general strike, and it would take tremendous mobilization in a very short period of time. So I applaud those who are out there in Madison who are currently protesting this very unfair law to unions and to middle-class workers, but I would be very surprised if such a general strike would be possible under these conditions.
Do you see this as inevitable then?
Unfortunately, yes, and unfortunately I also see inevitable what's happened in Indiana, for instance, where there was recently a right to work law passed. 779 businesses shut down, more than those that open. So it doesn't increase the economy, it doesn't lead to better wages, it leads to those who are making the money now making more money, they have cheap labor, and those who had better wages, middle-class wages, are not going to have as good of wages anymore.
Paul Secunda from Marquette University Law School, thanks for coming in this afternoon. You can stay with today's TMJ4 for team coverage of the right to work debate. We've got more information and extended coverage, of course, online at tmj4.com.